Don't forget to like and subscribe to Jolie Knots Crochet. Hit share, go ahead and share with your friends, or you can hit that little bell to get notifications when new patterns release.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Jolie Knots Crochet. I'm Crystal and today we're going to be making this Romance Garden Poncho. A couple of weeks ago we made a shawl and I was able to work with the pattern, create it mostly the same so that we can make a poncho. So this poncho that we've got here, we're starting with double crochets and we're going to be working in the rounds. This is approximately 30 inches from your neckline to the bottom here and 36 inches for the widest, or I'm sorry, the longest point. This is a really thick, bulky yarn. It is a 4 weight, but it seems to be much, much bigger. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So for this project, we've used Red Heart Colorscape. I used almost 5 full skeins of this for the size poncho that I have, which is a pretty big size poncho. And the hook size that we used is a 6mm hook. The color is Barcelona. And let's see, it's 100% acrylic. So you're going to need those, of course your scissors and your tapestry needle. You'll also want 2 stitch markers. Alright everyone, go ahead and get your supplies and we will get started on our poncho. Alright, to get started we're going to chain 88. Okay, so we've got our 88 chains. I've gone ahead and slip stitched to join your ring. Don't get your ring twisted up, so be careful with that. Now we are going to chain 2, that's not counting as a stitch, and we are going to double crochet into that first chain, the one we slip stitched into. We are going to put 22 double crochets. There's your first one. Work your 22 double crochets into your chain, and I will meet you back in the 23rd space. Okay, so we've got 22 double crochets, and now into the next chain we are going to place 2 double crochets all into the same chain. Chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Now, working down and continuing along your chain, we're going to work 43 double crochets. So go ahead and work your 43 double crochets and I will meet you right back. Okay, now that we've got 43 double crochets into the next chain, we are going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. One of these will be your front and one will be your back, so our increases are going to be on either side. You may want to put a stitch marker there just to make sure as we get a little bit longer it'll be easy to go beyond. So here's what you should be looking like. You've got your first corner here, we've got our second corner here, and then we're going to finish out with 21 double crochets and slip stitch that to your first double crochet, and then we'll get started on round 2. Alright, so now that I've got my 21 double crochets coming down this side, I want to slip stitch to close my ring. But before I do that, I want to lay my work out and make sure that I am not twisted in any way. Go ahead and slip stitch to close. Now this next row that we're going to be working on is the first row of our repeat. All right, and so what's going to happen is we are going to chain 4. That's going to count as our first double crochet and 1 chain space. Now we're going to double crochet into the same stitch that we just chained 4 from, and that's actually going to create our first V-stitch. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches and into the 3rd stitch make a V-stitch. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all into the same stitch. That's your repeat. Skip 2 stitches into the 3rd stitch, V-stitch. You're going to do that all the way to the corner here, and I will meet you back right here. All right, once you get to this corner space, you should have 2 double crochets left, and then we're going to put our V-stitch into this chain 2 corner. Remember, we have 2 corners, one on either side. Now you're going to chain 1. This chain 1 is going to count as your new corner. So what you're going to do is grab a stitch marker, put your stitch marker into that chain 1 space, and now we're going to put another V-stitch into our corner space. All the way down, you're going to skip 2 stitches, and into the 3rd, place a V-stitch. You're working your V-stitches all the way down the side here, and into this corner space you'll do a V-stitch, chain space, and V-stitch. So you should have 2 V-stitches separated by a chain space, and pop your stitch marker in there, and then you will work your V-stitches down this side so that we can close our ring. You should have 2 stitches left, and then we'll slip stitch to the top of the 3rd chain. All right, here we are at the end of round 2. You should have 2 stitches left, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the top of our 3rd chain, and that's going to join our V-stitches together, just like that. Now you're going to slip stitch into your V, chain 1, and this is where we're going to put our first single crochet. Now here is your repeat. Single crochet, flower. Here's what our flower looks like. This is we're going to have a small flower and a big flower. This is our small flower. 3 double crochets. And then a picot. And 3 more double crochets. Into the next V-stitch, single crochet. So your V-stitches should have a single crochet, flower, single crochet, flower, all the way down to the corner, and I will meet you when you get to your first corner. Okay, so now that we've got into our center of the corner, you should have a small flower, a single crochet, and then your middle corner here where your stitch marker is, we're going to make a large flower. And how we're going to do that is 3 double crochets, one treble crochet, so you're wrapping your yarn around your hook 2 times, and now your picot. To finish out our flower, we're doing 1 treble crochet and then 3 double crochets. Each corner will have a large flower, so you'll have 2 large flowers. Now right here into the next V-stitch, that's where you're going to put your first single crochet, and then go ahead and continue finishing with your small flower, single crochet, small flower, repeat, and I'll meet you back at the end to close up. I'll meet you right back here where we started to close up our row. Okay, so now that we are at the end of round 3, we are going to slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet that we made, pull nice and tight, and now to get started on round 4, we are going to chain 5. Your first 4 chains are going to count as a treble crochet, and then your next chain is going to count as a space between your trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to put 1 treble crochet right into that same single crochet. And here's what your starting round should look like. Into your next single crochet, we are going to put another treble, chain 1, and then into your next single crochet, put 1 treble, a chain 1, 1 more treble, chain 1, and then the last treble. And then you will chain 1 in between your flowers. So this is what your first stitch should look like. Your next stitch will have a chain 1 space between your previous treble, chain 1, treble, chain 1, treble, and chain 1. You will repeat for every single crochet, and those are your small fans, and then on either side of our corner we'll do our large fan. Okay, so we've got our small fans all the way up to just before our corner space. Now this is our large flower in the corner, and with these 2 single crochets on the side we're going to do a large fan. So let me show you how to do that. Make sure that you have 1 chain in between all of your fans. And your large fan is going to have 5 treble crochets. So we're going to put 5 trebles all separated by chain 1 spaces. And this is 2, chain, 3, chain, 4, chain, and 5. Now instead of chaining in between those, we're going to remove our stitch marker and we're going to put a single crochet right into the middle of the picot of your large flower. Straight from there you're going to go ahead and put another fan, another large fan on the other side. So 5 trebles separated by chain spaces. And here's the 5th one, chain 1, and then finish out the remainder with your small fan. So you're going to continue out your small fans in each of the single crochets separating your flowers, and then once you get to the other side you'll repeat the large fans on both sides, and I will meet you right back here at the beginning to finish out our round. Okay, so here we are at the end of the round. I have got my 3 trebles in between my last 2 flowers, and now my beginning flower, because we only had 2, I'm going to make sure I have my chain 1 between, and I'm going to work my last treble into this single crochet. Chain 1. And now I'm going to slip stitch into the 4th chain from the bottom, and that's going to complete our fan. Okay, and so this is what your work should look like. This is what your work should be beginning to look like. Your corners on both sides. All right. And the next thing we're going to do, now for our next row, what we're going to do is put double crochets into every single treble and chain space. So we're going to chain 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet. Double crochet into your chain space, double crochet into your treble, double crochet into your chain space, double crochet into your treble. So do that all the way down. When you get to your corner single crochet, the one that is worked into the picot, I will meet you right back here and show you how to work that one out. Okay, now that we are up to our corner space where our single crochet is, what we're going to do is put 1 single crochet into that corner space, chain 1, and 1 more single crochet. And that's how we're working our corner for this one. Go ahead and pop your stitch marker right back into that corner space and work your double crochets all the way down in every single chain space and every single triple crochet all the way to your corner space, your next corner space, and then in that one you'll also do double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and I will meet you back at the end of the round. Here we are at the end of round 5. I've completed all of my double crochets, and now I'm going to slip stitch to the top of my 3rd chain to close up my round. Now from here, I'm going to slip stitch over 1 stitch. This round right here is going to be a filet row. So we are going to chain 4. That's going to count as our first double crochet and a chain space. Now we're going to skip 1 stitch and into the next stitch, place a double crochet. Chain 1. Skip 1 stitch, into the next stitch, place a double crochet. That's your mini repeat. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Continue that down to your corner, and I will meet you back in the corner to show you how we work that out. Okay, so here we are at our corner space. Your last double crochet should end right into the last double crochet before your corner. Now we're going to chain 1, double crochet into the corner space, chain 1, double crochet into the corner space. That chain 1 is creating your new corner space. So we're going to take our stitch marker out, move it up to our new corner, and now going back down the other side, we are going to chain 1, double crochet into your first stitch, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. Now go ahead and finish that out, and I will meet you right back at the end of this round. Alright, so here we are at the end of the row. I have not chained 1, and how we're going to join here is we're actually going to go to the top of the 3rd chain, and we're going to put a single crochet. Now what that's going to do is going to set us up to work into this space. So we're going to chain 2. That does not count as a double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet into that chain space. And that's your first stitch. Now we're going to double crochet into each and every chain space and double crochet up to the corner. When we get to our corner space, I will teach you what to do. Okay, so now that we have gotten to our corner space, we're going to remove our stitch marker And into that corner space, we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And here's what you should look like. Now we are going to pop our stitch marker right back into that chain 2 corner space, and then continue to work down the other side, a double crochet into every single stitch, every double crochet, every chain space, all the way down. All right, so here we are at the end of our row. Your last double crochet should fall into the double crochet right before the chain space where you started. Go ahead and slip stitch there and pull that tight. Now here, this is the last row of our repeat. What you're going to do is repeat rows. What you're going to do is repeat round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so your next row is going to be your V-stitch row, then your flowers, fans, solid, filet, solid. Go ahead and begin that V-stitch repeat. Repeat those rows for as long as you would like your poncho to be. Thank you everybody for watching this tutorial. I cannot wait to see what your ponchos look like. Please tag me on Facebook. Let me see what you've created. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the little notification bell to get notified when new patterns release.